Hi, this is Brian Cafferelli from the Quickbase product marketing team, here today with another Q tip. Our topic is reference proxy fields. This is a very hot topic for new app builders, particularly those who are just starting to learn how to use table-to-table relationships. They can be a little confusing at first. I'm just going to walk you through kind of how they work. We're looking at an example CRM application here, and this is our list of contacts. Behind the scenes, I've created a table-to-table relationship between companies and contacts where one company can have many contacts. So we have the parent records here on the companies table, and the child records are on the contacts table. And what I want you to think about is, as you see all of these names, who do these people work for? Who does Megan work for? Who does Bobby work for, etc.? The first column in the report is called related company, and it shows us some numbers rather than names. So let's think about what this field represents. Related company is a reference field, which is the anchor of a relationship. Technically, this is a numeric field, and the data that you're seeing in here are record ID numbers that identify the parent company record. It sounds a little silly, but the way that I try to remember it is, in the Quickbase world, parents sort of have amnesia. They don't remember who their children are, but the children always remember which parents they belong to. So on the company's table, we have the key field, which is the record ID. That's the default. And then that passes through to the reference field. So in this case, Megan Long works for whatever company has record ID 15 on the company's table. But of course, a reference field is not a normal numeric field. It doesn't just contain a number. It also links away to that other record on the parent table. And that's why you can see these blue links here. So one way that I could check to see who Megan works for is to come in here and click on that 15. And then Quickbase is going to bring me over to the company record, and we can see that she works for Acme Mechanical. So I've answered the question, but of course it's not very convenient, right? It's not very intuitive. So I'm going to show you a better way to do this. If we look at the other columns in the report, you might have noticed that we actually do have a company column. I put it over here because the order of your columns really just depends on how you set it up. And especially if you're new to Quickbase, you might not have things set up in an optimized way. But so if you look closely, we can see that Megan does work for Acme Mechanical, even if we don't click on that link. It's kind of over here to the side though. So I'm going to click and drag, and we're going to move it over so that it's a little easier to see. Now, some of you might be tempted to say, well, if you have the company column, then why have the related company column there, the related company at all? And so let's see what happens if we try to replace related company with company, the second column here. And if I go in there and I delete that first column, we've got our company, and then we have our name. This makes it easy to see who everyone works for, but now we don't have an easy way to click through and get more information about that company. So it's sort of a trade-off here where we've chosen company, the company name instead of the number. What the reference proxy allows you to do is to have the best of both worlds. You can have a field like company, which is a lookup field, by the way, because it's taking a piece of information from the parent company record and just displaying it on the child table, which in this case is our contacts. In order to use a reference proxy field, you first need to have a lookup field, and then you can change a relationship setting to tell Quickbase that you want this particular lookup to act as a proxy field for the reference. What this is going to do is it's going to display the lookup information, which is a lot more user-friendly than just reading the record ID numbers, but it's also going to let those company names be linked. So next I'm going to show you how you can set up that reference proxy. If we click in here under contacts, you can go to the table-to-table relationship settings. And then in the list here, you can see the relationship that we've been talking about. One company may have many contacts. So I'm going to click into this. Now, by default, if you're creating a new relationship in Quickbase and you designated that one lookup field as company, Quickbase would make that company field a reference proxy for you. That's kind of the default behavior. It's for your convenience. But just for the sake of argument, I want to go through the process so you can better understand how it works. Now, if we think about the relationship, well, I shouldn't use the word relationship. If we think about how a reference field and a reference proxy field kind of work together, the reference field is the one that chooses its own proxy. So this is something that may not be very intuitive in Quickbase if you haven't done it before. But the place to set up the reference proxy field is actually on the reference field itself. So I'm going to click in here into related company. And out of all the field settings we're looking at, we want to look for the reference field options. And then in that section, we have the ability to select a proxy field. Right now, there is no proxy. That's why the drop-down is blank. If we open that up, Quickbase is going to give us a list of all the lookup fields available on this relationship. As we were just looking at, there's only one lookup field in this case. So we're going to pick company, and then we're going to save. All right, so you've probably noticed now that the purple text has appeared here. You've probably seen this in some of your apps, confirming that the company field is now a reference proxy. Now, the last thing to do is to click our little arrow here to exit settings. We're going to go back to the report and see what we've built. Okay, so we're looking at our contact list again. We can see our names. We can see the company names of who the contacts work for. But now the company names actually have a hyperlink. So if I want to find out more information about the company that Bobby Mendoza works for, all I need to do is to click once and I can learn about it here.